I think universal childcare was a good idea, and I think it was needed, but I think the implementation of it wasn't thought out. Cage. It's like herding cattle. Cage. No, Cage. You don't behave. My name is Veronica Ramirez. I'm 25 years old. I'm from Okewinge Pueblo. My kids are Grayson and Lotus in Okewinge Pueblo. It's really like community centric. Everybody kind of knows everybody and we're all related or grew up together or lived here my whole life. So I had him right after I turned 19. I didn't imagine being a mom at first, and he was born with some medical complexities, so I was fortunate in my first year after having him to be able to meet his needs and take him to all his doctor's appointments and surgeries and therapies and all that stuff. He be my partner for the dance, Miss Jacobel. Will you? We're going to a Valentine's dance at one of my works is holding for the community. And there's gonna be music and little arts and crafts. You want to stir? To get childcare here is kind of difficult because we don't have anything for early childhood, like before 3. So we have to outsource and find it in the nearest cities.
I told you should get a bay.
One thing for us, I was like, there isn't going to be like cultural representation in the daycare. There's not going to be anybody like speaking the language to her. Or Lotus is 20 months now. I think before she turned 18 months, I was like looking at daycares and trying to figure out the process. And yeah, and then this whole like universal childcare thing came out, and it wasn't like very clear how to sign up or what the process would look like. It is a little time consuming to fill out and to have all that information. Then you do have to submit, I believe, like your pay stubs and stuff like that. I don't want to say it was hard to navigate, but I think it was just like unclear, like who has spaces available, and that takes time just to get approved.
And Smokey says that don't miss this fire.
Yeah, so if you want to get your child in like spring, you have to start like now. I was just very adamant about, after I filled out the application online, calling and following up with the case manager or whatever that was assigned to us, and trying to get that through.
The floor is lava. No.
Jump. Jump. Ready, set, go. Grayson, no, I said that's enough. I was kind of in dire-ish need and decided to just go and show up at the daycare, and they said that like they have a slot available, and they did say that they were like having regular walkthroughs with different people, and so it kind of made it seem like urgent for us to secure our slot by like paying for like this first 2 weeks. And so I was able to pay like $500. That was non-refundable to like hold and secure our spots. I will come get you. Now chill out. And then in the letter it was like right now you're not gonna be charged, but like basically at any time that could change. No, it's not funny. There's that like uncertainty, I guess, that like at any point, like say if the budget doesn't get covered or something, like we could have to pay her childcare is like $1,000 a month, and so if I got that letter, she wouldn't be in childcare anymore. Mason, you want ketchup with it?
No.
Since having her in daycare, I've been able to increase my hours at work and get more pay, which helps us financially to be able to provide better and more for our family. Having caps dependent on income, I think, yeah, it doesn't make it truly universal. I think I'm like somewhere in the middle, I guess. Like if I was a millionaire, I'd be like, well, let me give some money to these organizations that I feel like are supporting these things. What, little girl? You're not getting nothing here. This is all for later. You want this? Yeah. As a mom, I think it's a step in the right direction, and I think if we invest mostly in like early childhood and like from cradle to career, we'll reap the benefits, you know, in time. As a community organizer and going to and attending like convenings and stuff, like New Mexico is really being watched, and they're like, because other people want to replicate in other states.
Hi. Are this high? Yeah.
I think universal child care was a good idea, and I think it was needed, but I think the implementation of it wasn't thought out. I don't know, at least they did it and it's here, and I don't know what that means for the future, like if it's going to last, or I just hope that the supports continue on. Like, it's not just this temporary thing. It's like, okay, we kind of put ourselves in this boat, and how do we keep this boat afloat?